Hey, welcome to a brand new podcast from Rushdown Radio. I'm Michael.
And I'm Anthony.
Today we're going to be talking about a topic that it's irritating to say the least. So I'll just set it up for everybody. So recently there was an article that came out about Valkyria Chronicles 4, and there's a few scenes of sexual harassment within the game as far as the characters interacting with the female army people or whatnot.
But, that doesn't change how perfect the game is.
True. But the controversy sparked because of that. And those are the person, I think I forgot the name of the person who wrote the article and what publication it's from, but that's not the important part. The important part is that stuff like this comes out a lot as far as sexual harassment and sexualization of women, just in general, things that may or may not be really all that great to have in video games because they have really negative situations in games and stuff. And there's never a conversation that pretty much presents a different side to it.
That's because you're talking about things that don't make the game
What'd you
less
say?
perfect.
I can't hear you, sir. What'd you say?
I'm saying that you're talking about things that don't change how perfect the game is.
Anywho, so we get to a point where journalists in the gaming sphere decide they want to actually critique a lot of these games because they have situations and stuff in games they feel aren't exactly that great.
Just a quick footnote right here.
Mm-hmm.
That was VG247 with that article by Alicia Haddock.
Ah, yes. I remember even a couple of weeks ago, not a couple, it was a couple months ago. I think it was during E3. There was someone through Kotaku had posted an article about Soul Calibur 6 and Ivy's outfit and how it's just completely lewd and crazy. And then you'd be like, oh my god, SJWs. So we get this backlash from gamers talking about everything's SJW. If you have an opinion that is anywhere left, you're an SJW and you're a clickbait and blah blah blah.
Yep, and it's one of those phrases that I kind of just laugh at every time I hear it or see it, which is go woke, go broke.
What?
Oh, have you not heard this
Never.
phrase? Ah, yes. So the idea of go woke, go broke is when you start catering to SJWs and their needs and you start going too far to the left because, that's what woke is associated with, thinking too far to the left. That's when people start hating your products or services and they show it with their wallets. They reference things like Wolfenstein 2 and how their sales weren't the greatest because they had that whole Punch Nazis campaign thing going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the melted down version of go woke, go broke.
So that leads me to the conversation of asking, why is it that the gaming industry itself is wanting to be taken seriously as a medium, yet it doesn't want to be critiqued seriously as a medium? Because there was a time when movies, music, and all this other stuff in entertainment weren't critiqued on the level that it is today. Stuff like blackface. You could do that back in the 40s or I think the 20s when they started doing that. And then it became a thing because this is insensitive, this is wrong, we shouldn't do that. And then later on, stuff like sex and just all types of other things became taboo in movies and music and television. And that became a thing because people were like, this isn't cool, you shouldn't be doing this, is insensitive. Yet the gaming industry wants to be taken seriously, but they don't want the same backlash or critique of the said genre or said medium.
I feel like it comes as simple as people don't like being told no. People don't like being told no. They want their games to be as adult as possible. They feel like, I'm an adult playing this game. Don't tell me what's right or wrong because as an adult, I know what's right or wrong.
Are they sure?
I don't think they are. But I think that when it comes to that, they think about it a little too personally. Because not everybody who's going to play these games, like Valkyria Chronicles 4, not every character who's going to play that is going to be of the mindset, sexual harassment, whatever, who cares? There's going to be some people who are offended by it because they've gone through it, or there's going to be kids playing this that don't understand, why that's so terrible.
Exactly. I think that's the portion of this that needs to be examine a little bit more, because a lot of these images, you can easily say, oh, it's just a video game. Well, video games as a medium still has an effect on your psyche, whether you know to believe it or not. just like movies do, just like music does. Like all these things affect your psyche in some way. Like it may have a small effect, but still it has an effect. And some people aren't exactly as, I would say, strong-willed as others, so they're a little more easily influenced by the things they see and do. So,
and for the record, it is rated T for teen, which means anybody can pick it up and grab it. This isn't something that, you gotta have somebody buy for you, which, matters because most places these days enforce the whole, if it's M-rated, you gotta have a parent do it, and then they read it, and then they find out, oh, God, sexual harassment's in this game, whatever.
Yeah. I think that we get to a point now, and I was reading, this was posted in quite a few Facebook groups I'm in for JRPGs and whatnot. So I've seen the comments, and a lot of comments were pretty much SJW this, why are you saying that? It's not a big deal. It's out of context, because the whole context is that after that whole incident happened in the game, somebody punched him and said, oh, that's bad, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's not necessarily a solution to that problem, really. Like, that just, I feel like that's like putting a Band-Aid on it.
I don't know, man. Some people really, sometimes I'll admit that there are some issues that people bring up that just don't matter.
Yeah. Like that Doom thing you had wrote about.
Yeah, that Doom thing, that did not matter.
That was just reaching.
That was a hard reach, okay? But there are times, like, with the whole DOA, what was that? Not Dimensions. The volleyball version of DOA.
Oh, DOA Extreme? Volleyball?
There we go.
Yeah.
The third installment.
Oh, yeah.
That deserved to have some conversation.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, I think it needed to be talked about. Maybe not banned.
Yeah.
Maybe not anything. But there needed to be a dialogue. And I think there's that's where people start to get iffy and start to go, oh, here comes the SJWs. I don't advocate for censorship in games.
Me neither.
But I advocate for there to be some sort of discussion. Maybe the context was important. I haven't played the game yet. But let's at least talk about why the hell it's there. Or what things could have been changed so that you get the point across without having to upset a certain group of people.
Yeah. Another game that I thought about just as soon as you said that was like Persona. Because they do a lot of like really hard things, but I feel like they do it in such a way where there's a conversation that could be had about it. It's not so one-sided. Like Persona 5 especially.
Yeah, of course, minor spoilers.
Minor spoilers. Sorry if you haven't played Persona 5 yet, but there are some spoilers that's probably going to be. So spoiler alert, I would say speed up this video maybe like about a good 30 seconds or so. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so in Persona 5, of course, there was that whole first scene with was it Kamoshida? And the whole like sexual harassment and sexual misconduct with young teenage girls and stuff. Like that was a bit much, but I like the way they handled it though.
So bad that it drove one girl to attempt suicide.
Yeah, that was whew. And I love how that game dealt with that. It dealt with it in a very delicate way. It left you actually wondering, well, not actually wondering, it kind of gave you more like how do I want to put this? It's like when it happened in the game, it didn't feel like it wasn't a big deal. It was a big deal.
Yeah, that was a heavy moment.
Like, they put severity on this, and I love that they did that because that put severity on the actual, if that happened in real life. Because that does happen. Like, we went to high school where there's a lot of sexual predators and stuff within the school. So we know this thing isn't just, oh, it's just a fantasy. Like, no, this is real life. So the connection I'm making is that Valkyria Chronicles is based on military stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of misconduct in the military. I even have friends who've told me they've had like issues with like superiors trying to do like stuff to them. So
yeah, these are things that happen. These are real life issues that I think can be talked about.
Yeah.
And not handled as a joke. Because sexual harassment isn't a joke.
It's not.
Now, of course, you'll find plenty of games that make it seem as such. And that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because most of them are Japanese games, and of course people will say, well, the age of consent over there is different.
We are not doing that one.
No, we're not. But, that's how you justify games like that Senran Kagura game that's all about massaging teenage girl ninjas.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, the game industry's pretty,
lewd.
Yeah. And you know what? With the exception of what I've just gave you and some others that I may not be aware of, it's not as if sexy stuff is bad. I don't think anyone wants to say that sexy stuff is bad unless, you're of the feminist group, which
I would say extreme feminists, aka TERFs.
There we go. Though they will, the ones that say Bayonetta is terrible because she owns her sexuality and all that stuff. I don't want to be of the group that says that sexuality is bad, that adult things are bad. But that doesn't excuse that when things like sexual harassment things happen, anything that has to do with bigotry, anything that has to do with insulting or marginalizing a demographic, I'm not going to sit here and say that those things are okay in my video games.
Yeah, because I don't want that in my movies either, or my TV shows. Like, I would have the same reaction to this happening in the TV show I liked, or a movie I liked. Like, oh, they just, like, glossed over this sexual harassment just happened.
Yeah, no big deal. Sexual harassment.
That's wrong. And I think that, gamers need to be a little bit more, they need their conscience to be a little bit more elevated to be able to have these conversations without feeling like people might, it's like, they feel like they're being personally attacked, I feel like.
Yeah, and I get it. When you have something you love, you kind of just want to protect it. But not everything you love is infallible.
Exactly. Like, there are issues there. And no one ever, in that article that woman wrote, nothing in that said that she wanted that particular scene, like, censored, none like that. She just said that this is problematic. And she said why it was. Nothing in that article stated, oh, this needs to be taken out the game. Like, she didn't say that.
That's the thing. People think that because we talk about it, now we're calling for action to remove this type of stuff in games.
No, we just want the developers to be a little more mindful when they make these things in games. Yeah. If you're going to talk about adult themes, you need to do it in a way where it's more thoughtful than just, like, slapping it in there.
And that's really all anyone's asking.
Yeah.
Not for, like, this mass removal of heavy things and things like that. Because, yes, we are adults, and yes, we do get these kind of things. But not everybody who plays these games are us.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't like the pushback from gamers calling stuff SJW. Like, remember the whole film frequency thing? Which, in hindsight, like, I understand where she was coming from. The execution was really off. And a lot of her, like...
I can't even say that she had good intent. I'm sorry. I got nothing good to say about what she's done, what she wanted to do. I strongly feel she was the sort who came in, saw an opportunity, got the money, and she was just like, bye. Because she's done so much more harm than good. I got nothing good to say about her. I'm not even saying her name.
Okay. Well, I would say the whole sentiment behind what she was doing. Like, other people who share her sentiment as far as, like, wanting to change things about the video game industry for women.
Okay.
Like, in that context.
I do agree that people who saw her message actually believed in something like that. I can get behind that.
Yeah. Like, she's kind of a marker for the whole thing. I wouldn't say she's actually, like her message was,
Precious was gross.
Yeah. But I understand exactly what the bigger point was. Like, the big picture of it was that there were some things in video games for women that was not cool.
Yeah, even though she kind of,
She glossed over stuff. She did a very poor job at what she was trying to accomplish. I mean, she got what she needed out of it.
Yeah, the money.
Wow.
Sorry. I'll hold that back as best I can.
Are you really?
Nope.
But I think there needs to be a time where we can talk about these things about video games and not have it be a SJW. Because imagine if back in the day when they was like doing a lot of racist stuff and like movie stuff, he was like, oh, these SJW black people want all this stuff. Who cares to the N-word on TV? Who gives a crap? Like, what? Like,
and there's quite a few people who care about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or saying inflammatory things about gay people on TV, like using the F word, which was okay for a while.
Yeah, now that people use it, people want to criticize, and I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a word that you probably shouldn't use so casually.
Yeah. And it's just like, the video game industry is no different than any part of the entertainment industry. It's still interactive media, but it's still media, and it needs to be have conversations about this stuff because it's important to people. And we're in a different time span than we were like 10 years ago. I remember one of the comments I saw was somebody like, "Oh my God, these SJWs wouldn't survive the 90s." I'm like, the 90s were a cesspool of stuff was going on. Like, there was just so much insensitivity to a lot of different groups at the time, but nobody had a voice to voice their opinions, really.
What I really hope is that the people who think like that kind of just die off, and as time progresses, people understand that it wasn't so much that people were hardcore back then, or it's a softer time. It's an educational time. People are learning that, hey, that shit probably wasn't cool. We should probably not carry that kind of behavior into the future. I hope that some kind of dialogue like that opens up, as opposed to the dialogue, let's just bring it back to the 90s. Let's take it back to an older time, because older times were so much better, right? Older times were great.
Not for everybody.
No, not for everybody. No.
Like,
because moving backwards makes a lot of sense.
It never makes sense. Like, it's...
I mean, let's just go back to brick cell phones, too.
Yuck.
Let's go back to windbreakers, and you know the ones I mean.
I mean, wait a minute. Some windbreakers are cute.
Look, I'm not going back to the windbreaker thing.
You don't have to.
If y'all want to go back to windbreakers, y'all got this. Or what is it? Or like moon boots. Y'all want moon boots back? Well, I kind of want moon boots back.
Oh, so you don't want a windbreaker, but you want moon boots, though.
Whoa. Have you ever had a pair of moon boots, Michael?
I don't want them.
Those aside, moving backwards doesn't always make sense.
It doesn't. And I think a lot of people want to move backwards for whatever arbitrary reason they think would make things, like, I think, easier for them.
Yeah. People want their sexual harassment back, and they just want to sit and like, yeah, no one's arguing about that.
And that's another thing I want to bring up. We're in the Me Too era right now. Sexual harassment is under a microscope in every facet of life. This is not the time to be doing stuff like this. It's just really not. Like,
at least not the time to just be like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, like this, we're in the precipice of one of the most progressive movements for women in sexual, like, assault and rape and all that stuff right now. We've never had this in history where women coming out the woodwork and being able to talk about this openly and getting men actually, like, accountable for their actions and stuff. And then come out with a game and just, like, be so tone deaf to that movement is just weird to me.
I'm only going to say it's not that weird because, I mean, it's from Japan. I don't think
I get it from Japan, but people had to still translate this, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole localization team of people that come in to say, maybe this isn't so great, maybe we can work that differently, or maybe we can, like, add this. Like, there's ways to do this without tarnishing the game.
It's strange because localization teams are notoriously bad for censorship.
They didn't have to censor it, because just, like, word it, like, I don't know. There are ways to do this without censoring the game.
I don't know, man. I remember many times where we've even had discussions on this very show about how censorship has happened because of localization. And I think that this is the extreme, like, opposite of what that is.
Yeah.
Where, all right, we're just going to do a 1-to-1.
We're going to do a 1-to-1 in a place where we're having a huge movement for sexual harassment. Like, how tone deaf you have to be to not see the severity of that where we're at right now.
I mean, but the gameplay is good.
I mean, it is. This won't have, like, a huge effect on the game. I just wish that they would be a little bit more sensitive to what's going on and where it's like having a game in Africa and then you're, like, saying, oh, what's going on in Africa right now besides the water crisis and stuff? I don't know, just like you're having an issue in that country and you have a game brought to that country with that same issue and not see anything wrong with that.
But it played good.
I know it played good. I get it. It's going back to its roots. I'm happy for it. But I think that they should be a little more responsible.
It played good.
I'm so dumb what you said. It played good. Like, I think there should have been more sensitivity to this whole idea of sexual harassment right now. Where we at right now in this era.
It would have definitely been nice to know that they were thinking about that kind of stuff, but I don't know.
I guess they, and then that brings another point to think that maybe they think gamers just aren't that socially aware too.
That's quite a take.
Well, I'm good for a good hot take.
I see. And and it's not like the majority are proving them wrong. They're aware, sure, but they don't care. They're just like, no, I don't want to talk about this. Let's not do this. Don't SJW up my games. Don't try to censor my sexual harassment and my boobies. Can we not? Can I have all of that? I want all of that.
All the boobies.
I'm an adult.
I get you're an adult, but are you an adult that has an adult brain though? Like, being an adult just doesn't mean I'm an adult in age. It's an adult in maturity in all aspects of your life. Your body matured, but is your mind matured?
That's that woke stuff right there.
I'm woke. I'm that's me all day.
I don't know, man. This movement, the go woke, go broke.
Stop it.
I don't want you going broke out here in these streets, man.
I mean, I made a whole video about how, like, lewdness in games is not equal on both sexes. So how far do you think I'm going with this?
Damn, I just don't want you to go broke out here, man.
I ain't gonna be broke. I got a buddy coming in. I got a straight stream.
Oh. All right.
Like, my money stream is not contingent on my political views, so
I see.
I just want to be fair. Like, imagine if that scene happened with a male character. Like, or any character, like, yeah, a male. Let's use a male character, for instance. So,
man,
say, for instance,
they'd have been like, that's gay.
Exactly! Because that would have been, it's not okay to sexualize men that way. You can't go grab a dude's dick.
Man, that dude gay.
Exactly! Like, what if a female officer did that? It'd be like, no, it'd be better for male. Yeah, a male gay character went out of his way to sexualize a straight character.
Oof.
Like, imagine the backlash that would ensue because of that.
And let's go back to if it was a female character. I think one or two reactions would have come from it. Man, that dude acting like a punk.
Yep.
Or, oh, but when a woman does it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. That would upset me, actually. When a woman does it.
Yeah, people got them things that they got their fingers typed out. The letters that spell out when a woman does it are the biggest keys.
Yep, or not all men.
Yikes.
I just think that sexuality and stuff like that is perfectly fine in games. I just think that they need to be a little bit better about how they present it and display it. Because being irresponsible is just not cool. Like, it's not right now. Like, think of a game like Bayonetta. Like, that game was super sexual. Yet, in no way did I feel like the gay was being overtly lewd for some reason. Like, it felt like she was just out here being herself.
Yeah, for better, for worse.
Like, Luca didn't even sexualize her, really.
Yeah,
like,
he kept trying to, like, for the first game, he kept trying to kill her?
Yeah, that was weird.
And then the second game was like, haha, I'm Luca.
Exactly!
It was never like, hey, Bayonetta.
Exactly, like, none of that.
Pole dances are kind of...
Like, I love how they did the game, because it was like, it was not about the men, it was about Bayonetta at all times.
Who was...
the baddest to ever do it? Like, ugh. And it was so sexual, but it wasn't like...
Is she out here spanking centaurs and stuff? Like,
I didn't feel dirty playing the game. I felt like it was fun. It was lighthearted.
It was funny.
It was funny. Like, it was done in such good taste. Like, it's rare that you have a game like that can do that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I can't wait for part 3. Like, I'm so ready.
Those games.
So ready for 3.
Especially ever Switch. I'm serious, man. If you ever get the chance to play them both on Switch, do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, part 2 plays so well on Switch.
I'm gonna eventually buy that game. I think I'm probably buy it when part 3 comes out. Unless they come out with a collection, which I would hope they would do.
I mean, that's the smart thing to do. So Nintendo probably ain't gonna do it.
You're right. Darn.
I mean, this ain't Mario now.
Oh yeah, Mario. They're always going to come out with some cool collection for Mario because it's Mario.
They're eventually going to come up with a collection that's just called all the Mario games.
All the Mario. Just just call it all Mario.
All Mario. Oops, all Marios.
You guys remember when they sexualized Mario? When they was talking about his nipples and stuff for a minute.
Oh my god!
When they was talking about Luigi's dick. When they was talking about it's only 3 inches flaccid.
Went through the trouble to mathematically measure the length of Luigi's penis out because of a bulge in the tennis game.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
To speak nothing of Bowsette.
Oh well, we're not. That's a curse word right now.
You right. I ain't even say that.
We got to get this whole episode got to be explicit now because you said it.
Wow. All right, then let's wrap it up before we go any further.
Okay. Do you have any final thoughts about this?
Sex is fine. Acting like sex isn't, something we can talk about is not. Stop acting like you're children when you're trying to be grown.
Woof.
That's
Woof.
that.
Woo.
You can't talk about these kind of things being like SJW only or something. Like you don't talk about sex in your forums or discords.
Man, have you seen forums and discords?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'm in several.
Oh. Yes. My final thoughts is that very, very much like Anthony, I feel like we need to have these conversations about stuff like this because these are very sensitive topics. And just to be more sensitive to people who aren't like you, like, yeah, you're a guy playing this game. Your vantage point is very different than a girl playing this game. And even though if you're a girl who doesn't see anything wrong with it, there are probably plenty of girls because a lot of girls play JRPGs. Like that's not out of the question. Like that one genre is very heavily played by girl gamers. So for them to sit there and see that and just feel any type of way about it is enough to be like, okay, we need to do a little bit better about how we present these things in these games. All right. What do you guys think? Do you think this is just a dumb topic? Are you just telling me being an SJW? Well, I'm sorry I'm going to get tired of that because I'm going to continue to be an SJW because that's just the way things are.
You need an armor set. You need an armor set.
You're right, I do. I even put on my Twitter, I'm an SJS, social justice Sentai, because I had to be a little weeb about it.
I'm trying to find words. Jesus Christ.
Let us know what you think. Please subscribe to our channel. Oh, we're actually on Spotify now too, so you can catch us on there. We're on Google Play.
You know y'all got Spotify.
Right? Go and stream us. You can get us on Spreaker. We're on Apple. We're on everywhere just about. So there's no reason why you don't have to have us in your ears every so often. So thanks for listening to us. Please leave comments on the iTunes page and I think Spotify lets you leave comments too and all that good stuff. So yeah, it all helps. Thanks a lot for listening and we will see you next time.